Part of the key of the success of these buffalo jumps was that native people understood the behavior of bison. They understood what would make bison move in certain directions. They also understood where the bison would be at certain times of the year and why they would go there. For example, bison love to eat grass. That's their number one food source. And so wherever there was green grass, it was likely that at some point in time, the bison would go there. Now this area that I'm standing in has a green grassy field just over here to my right, and that would be in the direction of the northeast. And this is where the bison would come historically thousands of years ago to eat grass, to graze, and they could smell the water. Here we're near the headwaters of the Missouri River. There are 3 major rivers that flow in this area, and the bison can smell the water as well. They can smell the grass, and of course they get all of those smells from the wind. And so native people understood that when the wind begins to blow, bison typically move. And they almost always move towards the wind. They move into the wind, whether it be summer or winter. This is part of their behavior patterns. It just so happens that where we're at on this particular buffalo jump, there's a prevailing wind that comes from the west. And that west wind, and you can see where I'm pointing off with my left hand here towards the west, this is where most of the winds come from. And the winds would again blow the smell of the water and grass into the noses of the bison and draw them towards this area. This is where native people would establish drive lines, and the camera is pointing in the direction where those drive lines would be established. Drive lines are again a brilliant creation by native hunters because they understood that bison like to stay inside of the lines. So if there's a line along the route that they're running, they will never ever go outside of that line. They will work as hard as they can to stay within the confines of that. And that was part of the effectiveness of the drive lines. It was after thousands of years of hunting these animals that native people were able to discover this kind of knowledge that helped them to become expert hunters. Once they harvested the bison, they were also experts at processing the meat, the hides, and the bones so that nothing would go to waste and that everything could be used in their way of life.